Okay, so I wasn't gonna do a video on this, even though one of my friends told me to the other day, regarding what's going on in the media and in the world right now. I just kind of let it pass. But looking at all of my feeds and Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and just seeing what's really going on and not just, kind of what they're showing you, I guess I decided, there's a lot of people out there where they're like, this won't happen to me, or I haven't encountered it yet. So I felt, I would share my story just because I was in that mindset. I was like, look at me. I'm a nerd. I'm black, but I don't dress like I'm in a gang. Like, if anyone saw me, like, what gang do I belong to? The freaking Pegasus gang, that's the gang I belong to. But not really, no, I don't really like gangs and things like that. But I just don't come off as that kind of a person. And I believe that I'm very practical and calm. So if somebody of authority approaches me, I'm not sitting there running my lip off. I'm not sitting there trying to contend them. I'm not sitting there trying to, I'm not trying to disobey. And, what happened to me, I feel, was out of line. And this happened before all of this was happening. So that's why I wanted to put it out there that with the state of affairs of what's going on currently, this happened before that even, before that was even a thing, because it's always been a thing. But now that it's ugly and nasty and in our face and everywhere, and there's a pandemic of freaking, epic proportions biologically, but now there's also a pandemic of epic proportions socially, it's just kind of, not a good place to be. So I felt that, I would go ahead and share what happened with me and why, it's just kind of messed up what's going on right now. Things that we can't control, the color of our skin. It's not our fault that somebody with our skin color did something bad. There's people of other skin colors that do bad things. White people are usually serial killers, but black people, we are usually the bad guys. I'm like, yes, everybody does bad things. Yes, everybody kills, like every race. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying every race has something bad that somebody wants to say about them. But if we just kind of look at everybody as human instead of being like, you're bad because of the color of your skin, or you're bad because of what you believe, or you're bad because you choose to not be the sex that you were born as, and I don't believe in that. That's messed up, you guys. Come on. Like, speaking of, friendship is magic and ponies, like, I couldn't imagine if we had such differences as Pegasus, where you can control the weather and walk on clouds, or unicorns who have magic and can do things with that, or earth ponies who are super strong, or the sea ponies who I don't know what they do yet because I haven't gotten back into the show since they came on. But could you imagine if humans had such differences as that? Like, we can barely handle someone having a different color of skin or a different viewpoint than us. So, I digressed pretty majorly there, but essentially what I'm saying is that, people that haven't been ostracized because of the color of their skin or their religion or their sexual orientation or whatever, you kind of tend to stay out of the loop. So when you have your own, I guess, variation of this happened to me, then it becomes personal. It's no longer happening to a friend of a friend, it happened to you. So anyway, what happened to me several months ago, my boyfriend and I were driving around in my truck. I drove an F-150. It was my dog walking car. It's nothing, majorly dangerous looking about it, but my tags were expired. They were very expired. I completely admit that. Tags were extremely expired, and at the time, my driver's license was expired because when I renewed it, it went to one of my previous addresses, and I didn't realize that my forwarding thing that I had done, the year had already expired. So instead of it being forwarded to my new address, it just went back to the old address because I guess it only lasts for a year when you say I want my mail forwarded. So that's neither here nor there anymore. But where I'm going with that is that I did have expired tags, but I wasn't dressed like this, but I was dressed just normally. Just think like Hollister or Abercrombie & Fitch, basic, a t-shirt with jeans. I wasn't in gang colors. I don't look like that. It's not like I have my hair in cornrows or I'm wearing a do-rag. Neither was my boyfriend, who also looks African. He's a mix of Hispanic and black, but when you look at him, he looks black, but then his name sounds Hispanic, but it doesn't matter. We both looked black. We both are dressed, normally, like I said, basic jeans and t-shirts, and the cops pulled us over. So, I turn off my car, pull over, and there's two cops. There's an older white lady. She comes around to the driver's side, and then there's her younger partner who comes around to the passenger side. Now, the older white lady, like in her 40s, I would say, so I don't mean older, but I just mean that she's not like a young, itchy trigger finger, which this other younger person was. She came over very calmly and explained why she was pulling me over, and the whole time her partner's over there on the passenger side where my boyfriend is. He has his hands on the dash because he grew up in the jungles. He grew up over there near Dorsey High School. You know, it ain't fun over there. He's come from, you know, gang-packed streets and having to hear bullets and being worried about being a black man having his hands in his pocket or wearing a hoodie or having red or blue on him and being mistaken for a Crip or a Blood or whatever. He's used to that. I'm not. I'm from the valley. I'm from the San Fernando Valley. I'm a valley girl. You know, that stuff just never... My mom, she went to Dorsey High School. Her and her 7 brothers and sisters went to Dorsey High School. And every single one of them moved out of the hood because they didn't want that life for themselves or their children. So my mom knows that life, but she made sure that my brother and I never had to experience that. That's scary. That's scary that the color of your skin gets you marked for certain things. That certain colors that you wear mark you for something. Like, really, guys? Anyway, so he has his hands on the dash because he already knows, you know, you got to have your driver's license. You got to keep your hands where they can see it. You can't show any sort of, you know, aggression at all. And I kept my hands above, you know, my waist. I kept my hands above the dash. I couldn't really put it on the dash because the steering wheel's in front of me. But the younger cop on the passenger side, where, like I said, my boyfriend has his hands on the dash and he's just looking forward, has her gun drawn with the safety off. And her hands are shaking. And she's sitting there, I forget what she was saying to him because I wasn't paying attention to that. I was handling with what, you know, the cop who was speaking to me was, but she was afraid. And I'm going to go off on one more little tangent, but I work at a vet clinic and I work with animals. And I used to be a dog walker. And I'm much better at reading if an animal is aggressive and is going to attack versus somebody who's afraid and is going to attack. I can anticipate what the aggressive animal is going to do. I can try to mitigate the situation by making myself appear less, you know, threatening. I can, you know, use soothing voice tones. I can try to calm them. But if somebody's afraid and I don't know why they're afraid, I don't know how they're going to react. I don't know what they're afraid of. Are they afraid of me? Are they afraid of the color of my skin because of something that happened to them in the past? What are you afraid of? So at the vet clinic the other day, there was a Presa Canario that came in. And this is a dog that's going to be 150 to 200 pounds when it's fully grown. It was 10 months old. And the lady said that she got it from her boyfriend. And, you know, I don't know if they were still together, so he's probably not around. And she just has this super big, intact male dog that is a breed that, if you talk to a lot of people that work with animals, especially dogs, they're probably going to tell you there are certain breeds that should not have been made, because humans, when we're breeding animals, I feel that we're not thinking about all of the recessive traits that are getting pulled along with the traits we're looking for. Oh, we're going to breed you to be cute and little, but, you know, you're going to have horrible dental disease and, you know, luxating patellas, or your kneecaps pop in and out, or, you know, there's a lot of problems that come with breeding these breeds. And I don't know what it is about Presa Canarios. They're a dangerous breed. When a 40-pound animal can tear your throat out, a dog, what do you think a 150-pound to 200-pound dog can do? Just as much, but more, and there's nothing you can do to stop it because that thing's as big, if not bigger, than you are. Anyway, I digressed in my digression, but this dog was bad. It was so bad that the head technician that's been working there for 10 years, and she has had dogs come in that are lunging and snapping and frothing at the mouth, and she's just like, bloop, pops that muzzle right on, bloop, pops that basket muzzle right on, bloop, does whatever she has to do. She's got this shit. That dog, she was like, no, he's not coming back here ever again. Both of us have been in the animal field for a really long time. Like, I worked at a vet clinic for 5 years, went on hiatus for about 10 years. I was a dog walker for 4 years. I've worked at this vet clinic for about a year now. I went to Canoga Park High School and specifically went there for their veterinary and agriculture magnet. I was in FFA, Future Farmers of America. I've always been into animal husbandry. I've always been into animals and their behavior and how we can actually coexist with them instead of, I learned a lot in FFA about, how we breed animals for our own needs. And just this breed, the fact that this head technician who I'm like, usually people that I work with, I feel I have the biggest balls, but I'm like, no, you have the biggest balls, my friend. Like, you got some big old balls, and I appreciate you for it, because it's usually me having to go into a situation where I'm like, I really don't want to do this. And we had to use a rabies pole to even do anything to him. All we did was give him vaccines. The doctor couldn't even do an exam. The dog was that fearful and unpredictable and aggressive. We had to get him back out to his mom. That's literally the only reason we used the rabies pole. We never, ever, ever, in the 5 years I worked at the last vet clinic I worked at, we never used the rabies pole. And we tried not using the rabies pole. He got out of his leash. That was why we had to use the rabies pole. We used the, those, I forget what they're called, but they're not choke leashes, but they're the leashes you see at vet clinics, the temporary ones. That was the one that we used because we're doing everything curbside. Clients are not allowed into our clinic. So we usually use our own leashes because he kept slipping out of his own collar. And the owner, that should have been my first warning sign. Like, the owner couldn't get him out of the car. She had to use her tiny little multi-poo as a lure because she was in heat. That's another bad thing. Having a 150-pound dog try to mount a 5-pound dog that's in heat, that's not going to be good. But anyway, she had to use that as a lure, and it took her 30 minutes to even get him into the car. So that kind of should have been our first warning. And then when I did get him out of the car, he was jumping around, bucking like a wild bronco. I was being very gentle and very, calm with him. I had mommy walk us to the door, but he was still able to slip out of that, temporarily, because Presa Canarios are like Mastiffs, so they have a lot of neck folds, and they're very wrinkly, so it doesn't get a good lock behind their jaw like with most dogs. So he got out of his lead, so we had no choice but to use the rabies pole to get him back out to his mom. And we told his mom, we were like, either you shouldn't have this dog because you really don't know what you're doing, or you need to get training for him. But honestly, I believe that, my head technician was like, no, you need to get rid of this dog. I don't think there was any amount of training, because that's what we were first talking about. Anyway, I super digressed. Where I was going with that is that both of us agreed that this animal was highly aggressive, but in a fearful manner. You can't predict fear. You can predict aggression. I mean, you can predict aggression more than you know what to expect with aggression. But with fear, you don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to piss themselves? Are they going to run away? Are they going to tear your throat out? Oh, Rick Sanchez. Whatever. That's okay. I'll put you back on later. So my whole point with that story was just that was a fearful dog, and we didn't know what it was going to do, and that's scary. So, back to the original story, back with my boyfriend sitting there with this fearful lady with her hand on the gun. Afterwards, when we talked about everything, he told me how he really felt about that. But since I was interacting with the other cop, I didn't really feel the presence of that situation. All I remember was seeing her have her gun drawn, safety off, and I put that out of my mind. I was so fucking terrified. But the other lady, she was very nice. She was very calm. She was very understanding. She was very professional. She took my driver's license, went back to the car. Her and her partner went back. When she came back, I would say like 10 minutes later after she ran everything, the other partner stayed in the car, and she let me go. She didn't give me a ticket for having expired tags. She didn't give me a ticket for having an expired driver's license. She just told me I should take care of that stuff. Because I told her, I was like, the DMV out here, I just moved out here, and the DMV, I don't have an appointment until such and such date. And since I work, I can't just take off work because, like, I kind of need the job. I need the money. So I'm going on this day, but for sure I'm renewing that. And I have. My license is, up to date now, and I don't have my truck anymore. I have a car, so I'm making sure that I keep all of that stuff to date. Keeping on top of all of that stuff because, I had never experienced that before. My tags were expired. I wasn't driving erratically. I wasn't speeding. I wasn't pestering people like from my window or whatever. I wasn't throwing shit out my window. My tags were expired. Okay, and that's why that young cop had her gun drawn, because they saw 2 black people in a car with expired tags. Now, the other cop did explain that, you know, people with expired tags, they don't know what they're gonna do. But in my head, I'm like, if the first thing that you present to somebody is a gun or violence, if you don't put violence on the table, then violence might never be an option. But the second that somebody sees that violence is potentially an option, my heart's pounding. I'm like, okay, I need to react. So I need to be ready to react. And that's probably not going to be violently, because what the fuck am I going to do against the gun except get shot? So it just puts everybody in a really anxious mood, and you don't need levels to skyrocket way up there like that. But that was really, really messed up. That young cop, I feel, profiled the both of us because we didn't look like look at me. Like, I don't look like I'm in a gang. I don't present myself that way. And neither does my boyfriend. And that's largely because of where he came from. You get profiled, and that's really messed up. But that's the day and time that we live in now, that, you know, people look at you. And like I said, the young cop, did I see it? I don't know if I said, but she wasn't white. She was brown. I don't know if she was Latina or what she was, but she wasn't black and she wasn't white. She was brown skinned. So whatever her ethnicity was, it wasn't white. It was the white cop who was actually being very calm and very nice and very generous. And I appreciated everything that she did, because I feel she did it right. She approached the situation. She probably could have reacted if she had to, but she was still calm and collected. Whereas the other girl was shaking, was fearful, had her gun drawn, had her safety off, and that just doesn't make people comfortable. Because even if she's uncomfortable, her discomfort is now going to make us uncomfortable, and it might make us unpredictable. So if you're calm and collected and you don't give people the option to become anxious or to become uncomfortable to where they feel the need to react, then maybe things like that won't happen. But anyway, I just wanted to share, you know, that happened to me, because I was like I said, I'm from the San Fernando Valley, freaking, you know, West Hills, Woodland Hills, Tarzana, Encino, you know, freaking Uggs, mocha lattes. This stuff doesn't happen, but it does. And the fact that, you know, I didn't want to say anything about it, but just seeing how cops are treating people on curfew in LA, seeing, you know, videos of cops slamming motorcycles into people and 3 other cops jumping on them for people violating curfew, not even protesters, and then thing with freaking peaceful protesters pulling down masks and spraying them in the face. What the fuck, dudes? Seriously? Anyway, that was why I felt the need to have to share this, because I tend to stay out of things like this. I just try to spread the love. I'm not, you know, I'm not ignoring the fact that this is the state of affairs, but if that's all that you're seeing, that's all that you're hearing, that's just going to lead to, you know, a downward spiral. You got to be built back up. You know, friendship is magic. Watch some My Little Pony, some Phineas and Ferb, some Steven Universe, some Kipo, and I forget what the rest of the name of that thing is, but that's an awesome ass show on Netflix, or She-Ra. You know, watch something that makes you feel happy. Watch something that gives you a life lesson, like, you know, friendship is magic. Oh, I'm a Pegasus. Oh, you're a unicorn. But guess what? We can still get along. By the end of the episode, everybody has righted their differences. Why can't humans do that? It sucks. It really does. But, you know, it is what it is, but it doesn't have to be. So I just felt I would share my story, because like I said, I never felt that would ever happen to me, but it did. And I didn't put it out of my mind. It was always there. And my friend told me a few days ago, he was like, you should, you know, freaking write about what happened to you and your boyfriend. And I was like, nah, whatever. But just recently, I've really been getting back into my feed. I'm going to try to be more interactive on my Facebook, my Instagram, and my Twitter. So Indy will be coming back, as well as Bones. Yes, this is my dear stalker hat. It's super awesome. I love it. Yeah, I'm going to be on a lot more, spreading the love. I have decided that Indy, my pup, it's Indiana, and then Sherlock, both surname Bones. But anyway, Indiana is an emotional support pup. All right, I have decided it. I'm the color of love. Pink is the color of love. Oh, I forgot this whole time to have my little pauses on. That's okay. I'll do it right now at the end. So yeah, pink is the color of love. I just want to spread love. Like, spread love, not hate. Hate and resentment and anger are some of the few substances that do more damage to the vessel that they're stored in than on anything they're thrown upon or anything you intend them for. So you can sit there and you can have all your hate and all your disgust and all your pain trapped inside of you, but it's only hurting you. And there has to be a cathartic way for you to get that out. Not rioting, not, you know, degrading people because you can be anonymous online, but, you know, go feel good about yourself. Do something. But yeah, that's basically all that I wanted to say. I'm going to definitely try to be more interactive. Now that I know Indy is more of a service animal, emotional support, I want to be here for y'all. I'm talking to you, Padawan. I, for the past almost year, have really been absent from social media because I was going through a lot of shit. That'll be in another video. I know I keep saying I was going to make a video about that, and I will. That'll probably be my next video about my hiatus. I was very interactive in the pup community, but I had to kind of drop everything and pack up my life and move and, you know, just deal with getting back on my feet. So I'm really sorry if I've been seeming like I'm ignoring people, but I just wasn't on social media at all. Even my own, you know, family. It wasn't that I was ignoring them. I was just really trying to focus on getting back to where I needed to be. I can't help people if I myself need help. So I've been working on myself. I feel I'm in a good enough place. So, you know, I'm ready. I'm here. If you need someone to talk to about fucked up shit, about how you feel, I'm not saying that I'm going to get back to you immediately, but if you DM me, that's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Facebook, I will do my absolute very best to get back to you and talk to you for however long I'm able, just because I do work at an essential business and I work 9 to 6 most days. I get home, I got to decompress, I got to, you know, make dinner, feed myself, feed my dogs, interact with my dogs, do all that stuff. But I'm going to say like after like 9 to 10 p.m., I'm going to be very, very active since I'm a nocturnal creature. So yeah, just on any of my handles, if you really feel you're in a dark way, and I don't want to talk about this too much because it's pretty sad that, you know what happened to Pup Rex, if all of you know. And I didn't really know him very well, but it's really hard in this community, whether you're trans or gay or black or whatever, whoever's ostracized, that, you know, if you feel you don't have someone to talk to. So, you know, I've worked on myself, so, you know, you guys can definitely talk to me. Don't ever feel that you can't. Don't ever feel that nobody cares about you. I do. Even if I don't know you, I care about you. Don't ever feel that. That's not a good feeling. So thank you for watching this. Sorry about the crying at the end. I wasn't going to talk about Rex because I knew that I was probably going to cry, but it's really, really upsetting what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm not trying to speak on what happened. It's just very upsetting that he's gone. He was a really genuinely, I felt, nice person. Maybe he was troubled. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to talk on that, but from the interactions we did have, he really seemed like he had a really good heart. And it's not fair if he felt like he didn't have anyone to talk to or anywhere to go. So just know, I'm always here for you. On any of my handles too. If I don't get back to you right away, just know I will. I promise. I promise. I promise. Alright, until next time, this is Indy signing off. Indiana Sherlock Bones, now that Bones has her own first name. And I'll be seeing you guys.